You wonder why some women never have to compete, why a man's gaze clings to them even in a crowded room. It is not chance, it is not luck, it is psychology. A man's eyes stay where his unconscious feels both safe and awakened. This is not about beauty alone. Beauty fades in front of familiarity. What remains unforgettable is presence, mystery, and the mirror you hold up to his soul. Carl Jung taught that attraction is the meeting of shadows as much as light. What pulls a man is not only what he sees, but what he feels without words. And when you embody these truths, his eyes stop wandering. They return to you again and again, as if you were the only source of vision he trusts. The first truth is presence. When you enter a room, something shifts. It is not about how loud you speak or how much you try to be seen. True presence is quiet but undeniable. It is the way you stand, the way your breath steadies, the way your eyes meet his without fear or rush. A man may be surrounded by others, but his nervous system responds to presence more than appearance. Presence tells him that here is someone grounded, someone whole, someone who does not need to beg for attention because she already carries it within. Jung wrote that the psyche responds to archetypes. A woman in her presence embodies the archetype of the queen. She does not chase, she does not demand, she simply exists with such gravity that his orbit shifts around her. This is why some women are unforgettable. Their presence is not decoration, it is a force. To cultivate presence, stop trying to impress, breathe slower, listen deeper, move with intention. The less you perform, the more real you become. And the more real you are, the less his eyes can look away. Presence is also about consistency, showing up with the same authenticity, whether in private or in public. It's the energy that says I am enough without words, and that quiet certainty speaks louder than anything you could ever perform. The second truth lives in absence. Attention grows where there is space. Desire grows where there is not. Constant saturation. If you are always available, always answering, always present, you become background noise. But when you step back, when you allow silence, when you let absence speak, his eyes begin searching. This is not a game, it is rhythm. Just as music needs pauses to create meaning, a man's desire needs space to stay alive. Too much presence, without absence, dulls his perception. But when you give space to yourself, to your own life, to your own growth, you become the woman he cannot stop thinking about, because he cannot fully possess you. Jung described the anima as an inner figure men seek in women. But no man can fully hold the anima, because she belongs to his unconscious. When you allow yourself to remain partly out of reach, you awaken that archetype in him. He looks and keeps looking because he feels that mystery. So do not rush to fill every silence. Do not fear moments apart. Your absence, when chosen, is not emptiness, it is magnetism. It teaches his eyes to return again and again, because they are never finished seeing you. Absence is powerful because it reminds him that you are not simply an accessory to his life, but a whole world of your own. When you give yourself time, when you walk away to recharge, when you invest in your passions, you return brighter, and his eyes, hungry for that brightness, follow you with renewed intensity. And the third truth is the mirror he cannot escape. A man's eyes stay where he sees more than himself. If all you give him is admiration, he may enjoy it, but he will not stay locked on you. What holds him is when you reflect back both his strength and his shadow, when he sees not only the hero he wants to be, but also the man he fears he is. This mirror is not about criticism, it is about depth. When you listen without judgment, when you respond with honesty, when you stand as someone who cannot be fooled by masks, you become a rare mirror. He realizes that here is someone who sees him whole, and the human soul longs to be seen whole. Jung believed that relationships are crucibles where the shadow emerges. Most men hide it. Most women ignore it. But when you acknowledge it gently, without shaming, you become the one who makes him feel real. And reality is addictive. His eyes stay where he feels unmasked. The mirror effect is not about fixing him. It is about refusing to lose yourself in his illusions. By staying authentic, you force him to see himself clearly. And once a man feels this, no superficial charm elsewhere can hold his gaze. The mirror also creates intimacy that cannot be replaced, because when he realizes, you see not only the surface but the depths, not only the mask but the soul behind it. He understands that no one else offers him this level of truth, and the eyes, above all, stay where truth is found. These are the first three truths: presence that anchors him, absence that awakens him, and a mirror that reflects him. Together, they create a pull stronger than beauty, stronger than performance, stronger than competition, because in the end, keeping his eyes only on you is not about control. It is about awakening the unconscious forces that bind vision to soul. Before we continue, if you've ever felt caught in patterns of love you can't explain, the Jung Method can help you see the hidden dynamics and reclaim your clarity. The link is pinned in the first comment. The story does not end with presence, absence, and the mirror. There are deeper truths still, and each one carries the power to steady his gaze in ways more lasting than beauty or charm. The fourth truth is devotion. Attraction makes his eyes restless. Devotion makes them steady. Attraction can be stolen in a moment, but devotion is earned over time, in silence, in choices, in the rhythm of daily life. A man may admire beauty in passing, but his eyes belong only to the woman who awakens devotion inside him. And devotion is not demanded, it is inspired. It does not come from endless giving or sacrifice, but from the quiet dignity of a woman who knows her worth. She does not chase because she does not need to. She does not perform to prove her value. She carries herself with an invisible gravity, and he feels it even if he cannot explain it. Jung believed that true love always carries the seed of transformation. Devotion arises when a man realizes that your presence does not shrink him, but expands him. You are not only comfort, you are a compass. You are not an escape from his life, you are the fire that shapes it. He sees that with you he cannot remain small, that he must stretch toward his better self, and that realization binds his gaze more powerfully than any surface attraction. You can see this devotion in small things, in the way you speak your truth even when silence would be easier, in the way you forgive without erasing the lesson, in the way you walk away when something dishonors you. These moments teach him that love with you is not shallow comfort, but deep water, and once a man has tasted from that depth, he cannot quench his thirst elsewhere. Even when you are apart, the devotion spark lingers. It burns quietly, drawing his eyes back to you again and again, like a flame he cannot ignore. He may admire others, but admiration fades. Devotion endures, because it transforms him from within. The fifth truth is mystery. Desire does not die because beauty fades. It dies because mystery is lost. A man's eyes wander when he believes he has already mapped every corner of you. But when you remain a landscape unfolding, he cannot stop searching. Mystery is not manipulation, or a game of hiding. It is the depth of a woman who continues to live as a story still being written. A mysterious woman surprises herself first. She keeps discovering, learning, creating, and evolving. And in doing so, she surprises him too. Jung described the unconscious as an infinite ocean filled with archetypes and symbols, a world no one can fully explore. When you live connected to that ocean within, you reflect its infinity outward. He senses it even if he cannot name it. He realizes that he cannot fully possess you, and that realization does not create fear, it creates wonder. And wonder holds his gaze far longer than control ever could. Mystery lives in the pauses, in the spaces you allow, in the silence you are not afraid to keep. Think of music. Without silence between the notes, melody collapses into noise. In the same way, love without mystery becomes flat and predictable. Mystery is the pause that makes the song of desire worth hearing. It is the reminder that you are not a possession, you are a world. In daily life, mystery shows itself in the way you invest in your passions, the way you keep friendships alive, the way you pursue your creativity. It shows itself when you share some things and keep others sacred, not as secrets but as treasures. It shows itself in the way you balance closeness with independence, in the way you give access but never surrender your entire being. He realizes that you are not a page to skim but a book to keep reading, not a pond he can cross once and leave behind, but an ocean that calls him back again and again. A shallow life can be admired briefly. A life with mystery is studied for a lifetime. Mystery tells his soul that there is always more to see tomorrow, and that truth alone keeps his eyes returning. The sixth truth is wholeness, the union of light and shadow. Perfection can impress, but it cannot hold. It is polished but lifeless, admired but never truly loved. What keeps his eyes only on you is not flawlessness but authenticity. Wholeness is courage. It is the willingness to be radiant and wounded, strong and afraid, tender and fierce, joyful and grieving, sometimes in the same breath. It is admitting mistakes without collapsing into shame, standing tall even while carrying scars, laughing without pretending the pain never existed. Jung believed the shadow was not an enemy, but an unacknowledged ally. To deny it is to live half a life. To embrace it is to live whole. When you allow both your light and your shadow to breathe, you stop hiding the parts of yourself that make you human. You let them live, and in doing so you invite him to live more fully too. In daily life, this wholeness may mean admitting when you are tired instead of pretending to be endlessly strong. It may mean apologizing when you are wrong instead of clinging to pride. It may mean speaking the truth of your past without fearing his judgment. Each of these choices deepens intimacy. A man does not bond with an image. He bonds with reality. When he sees your shadow and realizes that it does not destroy your light, he feels safe to show his own. And once that happens, his eyes no longer seek perfection elsewhere. Why would he? Perfection is sterile. Wholeness is alive. Think of the difference between a museum and a home. A museum is silent and spotless, impressive to walk through, but never to stay. A home is worn and warm, with fingerprints on the glass, scratches on the table. A place where people laugh, fight, make up, rest, and love. Which one keeps his eyes? Not the museum. The home. Wholeness is home. When you live whole, his gaze finds not an image to admire, but a place to belong. And once a man feels he belongs, he does not keep searching. These final three truths complete the circle. Devotion steadies his gaze, mystery keeps it alive, and wholeness gives it rest. Together with presence, absence, and the mirror, they form the six forces that hold his attention without chains, without tricks, without control. Each one speaks to a different part of him, each one awakens something deeper than desire. And together they form a bond stronger than beauty, stronger than competition, stronger than fear. In the end, keeping his eyes only on you is not about control. It is about depth. It is about becoming the vision he cannot unsee. Do this, and he does not only look at you, he never looks away.